folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 9 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone's having a great day, safe day. It's a TGIF, folks. Let's make it a great one. Let's take a look at one of our Believe cards. This is by Sarah Van Breathart. Expect to have hope rekindled. Expect your prayers to be answered in wondrous ways. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We had the Dow up 18, Nasdaq down 5, S&P's up 2.5, gold contract down $5.80, trading at $1,251 an ounce. Silver off 22 cents at $18.79 an ounce. Platinum down 7 at $1,452 an ounce. Oil down 74 cents at 102.84 a barrel. Bonds, we had the 10-year down 7 ticks at 126.05. 30-year down 12 ticks at 138.02. King dollar down 110 ticks, trading out at 80.43. We had the euro up 30 and the yen trading flat at 101.78. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world. Now, we're going to have some fun today, folks. Why? When we always go through the market at the beginning of the hour, it's the end of the month. We can go through the daily, weekly, and monthly. So, S&Ps at highs. Now, check this out, because we had 800 million shares out here. So that means, number one, and that's a rebalancing, but it doesn't matter. It's volume. So that means that high is going to get tested. So we closed at 1923.21. We go to take a look at the SPY. So we take the SPY, and I'm going to take these up in the monthlies. We put it on a monthly, and what we have here is, let's see, I'm going to do a 5-year monthly. So what do you have? You get a high, no doubt. We did 1.7 billion shares, and the bottom line, it should be banging out about 3 billion. Just to give you an idea, when we go back, we're at 192. When you're at 197, you did 2.3. Dow Industrials. We take a look at the Dow Industrials. What we have with the Dow is this. Dow Industrials, I believe, just under its highs. Okay, so the Dow is at 16,716. The high out there is 735. We put this on the monthly basis. And what does she have here? So, yeah, this little baby. Same deal. I mean, the bottom line is that your last high up here had 2.1 billion. We did 1.5 this month. NASDAQ Composite. We did take a look at the composite. What do you have with the composite? She was flat out here today. We are at 42.42. You did 1.8 billion. If we look at the NDX 100, the 3 Qs, the high, I think this was the test out here today. Let's see. Yeah, 91.36. So this is what you have. 91.36 was the last high that was generated in the NDX 100. That was generated, folks, March 7th. That's when the NDX went from 91 down to 83. Came up there today, tested it, did it on 28 million versus 31 million. So it failed on the daily. We bring this back. We take a look on the weekly, and let's see what we have on the weekly. So on the weekly, you set up like this. The weekly was 154 million. And that's going to be a valid test on the weekly. So watch this. Let's see what we have here. So we got because of this is a short week. What you have to do is you have to calculate in 122 divided by 4 times 5. 152. You gotta love it. Okay, so check it out. So we tested the high with 152 versus 154. Bottom line, that high there will also get tested again. Gold. Let's go take a look at gold. So check it out. Check it out. The whole world is bearish, folks, and I'm telling you, this is going to be interesting watching this shake out. So this is what we had, and this is the perfect day for this to happen, okay? Gold gets down to 1242 today. We do 125,000 contracts. You come into, what you're doing here is this. You're coming into the lows. You're coming into the highs of the lows. That's what we're doing. And in fact, let me bring up the GLD so you can see what this baby did. Gold loves to do this, man. It's really wild how this works. Okay, so check it out. The GLD, we're at 120.43. If you put this, we'll turn around. I'm going to put this on the weekly first, and you can see what it did. On the weekly, you have two separate lows. Your first low came in, that was established on the week of the 28th of June. The 28th of June, let me get this back up. Okay, so the 28th of June, we did 109 million shares. Your second low, which was the test, came in with 63 million. Now the 63 million, the high of the 63 million is 120.77. Your correlation out here today is that it went into it and rejected it. We did, let me see, 31 divided by 4 times 5. Okay, so we did 38 million shares versus 63 million. It's going to get gold's not going to go break that bottom. You very well could have had that low in gold out here today. If you take a look at some of these gold equities, what you're going to see is this. If we go to Rheingold Resources first, GOLD, you'll see what Rheingold did. Rheingold came down to 72.69, rejected that level, goes higher. The 72.69 was coming into its sign of strength. That was back in February 3rd. That's when we took off from $59. We go all the way up to 85. Put this on a weekly basis, and what you're going to see on the weekly is this. Oh, this is sweet. Okay, so on a weekly basis, 73. Oh, you got to see this. This is a trip. Okay, so Rheingold comes down to 72.69. You are coming into your sign of strength going back to February 7th. February 7th, you went from 70 to 73 with 4.8 million, 2.1. So 2.1. You get to figure, the bottom line is that 2.1, that's 500,000, that's 2.6. So 2.6 versus 4 million. These are rejecting lower prices. Gold Corp did the same thing. Gold Corp comes down to 22.76, closed at 23.37, has juice behind the move. I think we get action here. Let's go over to the silver market. What was happening, folks, is that silver was the divergence inside that metals market. So silver gets down today to 1861. Your low on silver was the 1868. Your volume characteristic, yeah, sweet, we rejected it. Okay, so your volume characteristic, oh, this is close though, okay, was 41,000 versus 36. That's not good. That's saying it can get tested again. Okay, SLV, we go take a look at the SLV. What the SLV did, yeah, that's saying it can get tested again. So the SLV came down with 12 million shares, gets into the low, which is 1816, went to 1791, closed it. In fact, the SLV closed at 1807. And you want to see the SLV close it inside 1826, really. Yeah, so that low can get tested again. Gold, though, I think we get action here. Let me go pull up a few more. If we pull up AEM, yeah, AEM rejected. Oh, this is the classic. So an eagle, what do? You get down to 29.32. The top of the gap was 29.62. It's crazy how this works. It really is. It did dramatically lighter volume, too. Action, baby! Okay, bond market. What do we have with bonds? Oh, I know what we got to do. 1 second, hold it. I'm going to go back to the monthly on the GLD. So let's take a look at the monthly, since we can. On the monthly basis, this is what you have on the monthly basis. Yeah, the monthly it's really insane. The monthly, you came down with 113 million, going into 185 million, going into 254 million. There's no more sellers. Correlation 113 into 254. Good number. That was the GLD. We take a look at the SLV. On a monthly basis, what we have with the SLV, where is she? There she is right there. So in the SLV, what we did, you're coming into 284 million, and you did 116 million. That is a beautiful thing. No two ways about that. Bonds, we take a look at the bond market. You stay right there, folks. We're going to be coming right back. The 10-year, everybody, this baby's 126. That wants to go higher. You stay right there, folks. We're going to be coming back with our technology expert at TFNN, our man, Mr. David White. The Dow is up 18, Nasdaq down 5, S&P's up 2. We're going to be right back.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN, and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
Wouldn't it be great if you could get a red light, green light indicator that gives you signals on 25 different future contracts? Now you can with Taz Signal Box. This red light, green light market profile system dynamically updates 24 hours a day and provides you with important trend and trade signals on 9 different commodities, 9 different indices, and 8 different currencies. Right now you can receive a free 2-week trial to Taz Signal Box. For all the details and to find out how the Signal Box works, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investments, and whether you're bullish or bearish on Chinese stocks, the ETFs from Direction Shares are there to help you magnify your perspective. Bull ETFs for a rising market and bear ETFs for a falling market. Direction Shares gives you the tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
With the launch of Tiger TV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pezzamento, Andy Hecht, Victor Jones, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing. Tom takes your phone calls now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back, folks. We had the Dow finish up 18, NASDAQ down 5, S&P's up 2. If you'd like to test drive my gold report, folks, the way you do it, you come over to our website at TFNN. You go into newsletters. You go into investment newsletters. You can test drive the gold report 30 days absolutely free. We got our man Mr. Dave White, our technology expert here at TFNN, as we do each and every Friday, going through the whole technology sector. What we are going to do first, I just want to go over this bond market on the TLT on a monthly basis and see where this is shaking out. Now, the TLT, folks, is the 20-year plus bond fund, that is. And what it's doing is this. It's coming up to ICE. This month, what you did 166 million. Last month we did 145. You're coming into 249. So you can see that it is going to need an expansion up here. And the bond market itself, when you take a look at the 30-year, we are at 139 right now, I think. 138.02. 141 to 142 is ICE. You're going to be able to get a decent gauge, though, with the TLT if you don't have the futures out there as to how we're going to come up into ICE. You know, and I remember when the bond market overtook this in 2011 because I was watching it come up, and it seemed like, oh, it's never going to get the volume. And the volume explodes, folks, okay? When we overtook the swing point in August of 2011, that's when bonds really went to the moon. Well, they started going to the moon. The volume accelerated month to month. It doubled. It doubled.
When we're looking at the 10-year,
yeah,
and the yield on that,
right? Are
you in the camp that it's 225 is probably where the low is in that?
No, I can go lower than that.
How much lower?
We're at 247 right now, man.
I know. I'm just asking you.
I can go to 2 in a second.
Okay, you think?
Well, here, watch this. If you start looking just across the world, right? Mm-hmm. We'll look at it right now at the yields across the world, right? And our man Mark, he's taught us so much about bonds. He's right there. He's at 2.10. He figures. And it has to do, most of it has to do, and this is where I really got off him. Technically, I'm looking at it, but fundamentally I got off him. And it's like, okay, really, France is at 1.7, Germany's at 1.3, we're at 2.4. This money that moves, folks, moves across countries like nothing. It's just like we're moving across cities now. It's like, why are you going to go invest in Germany at 1.3 when you can just invest in the United States 2.4? That's 1% in the bond market. Yep. Leveraged. They leverage bonds up beyond belief, folks, okay? So, whether it's large foundations, whether it's pension funds, and that's excluding, and this is the kicker here, folks, okay? And this is something you want to wrap your head around. The kicker is the baby boomers. The amount of bread that baby boomers have, number one, is huge. And all they have to do is say, okay, I'm going to at least have 10 or 15% in bonds. They might have more. But the bottom line, folks, is that 10 or 15% in bonds after the types of burns that have been happening in the last 20 years in the stock market is huge.
I was just wondering because I think it was PIMCO, maybe Bill Gross, was talking about him maybe a couple months ago being hedged down to 225.
Okay.
And so I was wondering just how much heat maybe some of these big bond companies are going to feel before they actually find the bottom out there in the yield.
One thing that I don't buy, okay, you hear this on a continual basis, folks, about how many people are actually being short bonds, and, that's what's driving the market. I've never quite figured out, and I don't even think it's real, that you can figure that whole deal out. Because if you short an equity, right? There's only so many shares of an equity can be short the equity. The bond market, folks, is like 8,000 times bigger than the stock market. It's like, oh, really? You're just saying everyone short bonds? People that go short don't stay short forever, folks, okay? It just doesn't happen. And I suspect that people that short bonds, I like trading bonds, you're not going to stay short. The leverage on bonds, folks, is phenomenal, okay? So, like right now, okay, if we go back to, the 22nd, bonds are at 123. Well, that's $3,000 per contract, okay? And you're only putting up $1,400. You're not going to be short bonds.
The other explanation I've heard was that a lot of these big hedge funds that had some distribution, either 50% equities, 50% bonds,
sure,
that are now 70% equity because whatever they had went up so much.
That's right.
So they're trying to get back to the 50-50 or 60-40,
that's cool.
whatever
Absolutely.
they have.
No, that totally makes sense.
Now, that's the data from Trim Tabs is trying to say that, hey, we're watching these funds. These funds are selling a lot of the biggest winners they have out there, trying to get back down to...
Reallocating.
Reallocating back down to it. And to me, that sounds a lot more reason for a bond fund to just continue going up rather...
I agree. Yeah.
Rather probably irrationally, but there is a reason for it.
Well, the irrational part about it, I'm not too sure, because if you're a bond person, and this is where this gets really wild, folks. If you're a bond person, you've made more money than anyone's made, period, even in the stock market this year. So, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's really a riot when people say, oh, you don't make money in bonds. Well, factually, folks, the bond market is up, I think, 17% this year. This year, already, January. Since the beginning of the bull in 1981, bonds have outpaced everything. So it's like, oh, really? There's a disconnect even in the press as to how far bonds have actually gone up.
Can we go back to gold for a minute from the opening segment?
Yeah.
There was one question I wanted to ask when you were in there,
Yes.
and that was, you thought that maybe we'd made a low today in gold.
Yeah.
What would confirm that into you when we go into Monday and Tuesday?
A sign of strength.
Okay.
A sign of strength off it. What we have is this, folks, okay? You get a sign of strength off this baby because what it did, and this is what gold likes to do.
So you're not jumping now. You're waiting for a signal.
No.
Okay.
No.
Just
no.
okay.
On a few of these equities, we'll be buying a few of these equities Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah. Because what they did, they pulled back exactly like they should have pulled back. They rejected the high of the low. They did it with lighter volume, and they're back inside the larger range. And what they have is that they have a high volume high, folks. And what I've learned is this. And the 3 large corrections since 2001, this has, of course, this is more than a correction, okay? But the last year, we've made 30% twice. With the accelerations up has been amazing, okay? So when these come off the bottom, they come fast and furious. And we've done that twice. That's how it likes to come off the bottom. I think it's going to take a lot more work. There's no doubt about that.
But you're feeling safer in these equities than maybe the metal itself?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was trying to get to.
Yes. Yeah. The equities themselves. And the reason is that they only have to go up. Look here, watch. If we go over to Rango for a second. You look at Rango, okay, so Rango Resources, this is one of the best gold companies out here, right? Rango has a beautiful, at 83, it's nice. It's at 73. It's like, okay, you're going to go test 83, $10, and you put a stop under 72? That's not a bad trade. Do you know what I mean? And if you get stopped out, you get stopped out. You can do that a few times. You can see the signs of strength that they have, and it came right back into a sign of strength. So that's when you got to get in these. You got to get in and everyone, the most bearishness is out there. And that's what you need, man. You need
bears.
And what we also need is not one call. Don't anyone call out there about gold today. I'm only kidding, folks. But that's what we need. Yeah. We know that, right?
It is.
Dave White, Tom O'Brien. You stay right there, folks. We'll come right back.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization optimization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. Andy Hecht has just announced a live 90-minute webinar that he'll be hosting Saturday, June 7th from 9:30 till 11 a.m. Eastern Time, entitled Energy Opportunities During the Summer of 2014. With the frigid winter having depleted some key energy stockpiles, Russian political tensions high, and the storm season for the Gulf setting up to reverberate through energy markets worldwide, opportunities could present themselves over the summer months that could provide huge payoffs. When you sign up, you'll gain immediate access to a 7-page report Andy has put together as an introduction to what he'll be covering, so you can start preparing and get a feel for what Andy will be discussing live during the workshop on Saturday, June 7th. Andy will be advising his attendees of at least one trading recommendation in each area, including crude oil, natural gas, coal, and refining spreads and oil products. The best part is that this live 90-minute webinar is only $99. Don't wait. Sign up today and reserve your spot while gaining instant access to Andy's 7-page report right now. For all the details, visit the front page of TFNN.com. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Who says you can't take it with you? TFNN says you can. With your mobile device and TFNN's live radio streams, TFNN has put it all in the palm of your hands. No special apps to download. No subscription fees for live radio or Tiger TV streams. We say you can.
Now let's go over to the dollar, because the dollar is going to be the generator. It is the generator of basically higher dollar, lower market. And what the dollar has done, and this whole uptrend, folks, has just gone sideways. The way it works, folks, is this.
We say you can. The Tiger Financial News Network. Smart investors and professional traders know you can. TFNN.com. Educating investors. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Dave White, Tom O'Brien. We appreciate you growling and prowling with us out here. Don't forget, folks, each and every trading day at TFNN, programming starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. It goes to 6 o'clock in the afternoon. You get all that programming right on your cell phone at TFNN.mobi. If you'd like to get Tiger TV, just go TFNN.com on your browser. On the right-hand side, you're going to see a little box with devices. Hit that device. You're going to be able to get the audio plus the video. Our man, Mr. Dave White, does an outstanding show each and every trading day, 2 to 3 Eastern Standard Time. If you'd like to test drive, he has a couple newsletters. You want to test drive the Tech Insider. That's his long-term investment newsletter. The way you do it, you go to TFNN. You'll see newsletters. You'll see investment newsletters. The Tech Insider you can test drive at 30 days right here, right now. Apple and Beats, that's what we're looking at.
The big news probably in technology this week. No doubt.
$3 billion, right? Or $2 billion? $2 billion, right? $3 billion.
Yeah, I think it was going to, originally the deal was for $3.5 billion.
Okay.
And now it's become very muddled about what they paid for it. And the reason is, normally when you take over another company, let's say you have contracts with people.
Sure.
Those contracts can be extended if the other company wants to.
Yes.
Or they can ask for a renegotiation.
Okay.
I suspect the reason it hung out for 2 weeks was there was a renegotiation going on for the contracts with Beats streaming audio with a couple of the major labels. There's basically 4 major labels, and Beats had contracts with a couple of them, and it was unclear on whether or not all those contracts would come with them, whether they'd have to renegotiate them.
I see.
And when the price came down, it was originally going to be $3.5 billion, then it ended up $2.5 billion, plus some stocks and options and everything.
Not bad,
else
though.
Not
no matter
bad.
what it is.
Not bad, but they kind of, for a company that is notorious for not letting a thing leak out about what was going on.
Right.
We've had a lot of leaks in the last 7, 12, 14 days.
Sure, right.
They're talking about products that haven't even come out over the last few days, and we saw kind of a big pop this morning that faded by the end of the day, and I think a lot of people are starting to figure out that we probably ought to be thinking about what Apple's going to do long term. They've had the porridge that was actually perfect, right? It's not too hot, not too cold. They had huge margins. They had a market with AT&T that was locked up for years.
Right.
They were making 65% margins, which is what Intel makes on their chips. So everything that was perfect, right? It just couldn't get any better. Now, the question is, as more competition comes down, they're probably going to have a little erosion of the market on the margins on the iPhones. Now, when they get into these other businesses, we talked about it on the iPads, where they're getting 30 to 35%. They've got to sell 4 times as many dollars in iPads to make the same margin that they make selling one iPhone.
Right.
So
what is interesting, though, is that I remember when Beats started, and it's like, I was saying, man, how are they going to, you know, if you don't have a Beats, folks, okay, there's 2 different deals. I have one at home, and it's dynamite, okay? I have the little, like the boom box, okay? And you can bring it anywhere. And the headphones are great. And when I was first, well, it's interesting, because when I was looking at it years ago, I said, no, who's going to pay this, you know, for that? And then, you know, I got them as presents, okay? But it's really there. And when I saw this, I said, this is going to get interesting, because what the guys that ran Beats did figure out is that, listen, everyone has headphones, you know, and that's a product that the margins on that are huge.
This is what I want to get into. They make probably the worst headphones that you can buy.
Okay.
If you are an audiophile and really like listening.
They're not like ours that we have on, right?
No. These are fairly low tonal quality.
Okay.
But if you went out and got a headset of let's say AKGs or Sennheisers,
okay,
or Baradynamics.
Yeah.
I've got these. They're $300-400.
Right.
If Beats made them, they'd be $2,000.
Right.
If you pay $200 for Beats headphones,
right,
you can buy pretty much the same quality headphones for $50 or $40.
That's my point. Their margin is huge.
They have figured out a way to make it a fashion statement and sell big product.
Right.
And that's what Apple likes about it.
Right.
But not that I guess.
No, I agree.
I'm kind of saying the emperor has no clothes, but it doesn't matter, does it?
No, it doesn't. No, and the reason it doesn't matter, folks. Okay, so picture this. The reason it doesn't matter is that we all on David White, and so seriously, there's a difference there. You aren't understanding the differences versus me listening on TV, or someone gives you a present and say, "Hey, this is good. This is better." You know, so there is and it's like that cool factor and all of that. There's no doubt.
There certainly is. But if you're buying some, you can go to your local musician store and find some killer ones for about half the price that are much better. I just wanted to get that out. But what they really like, or what they think they're liking, is they want to get into this music streaming business.
Yes.
Now, to this point, nobody from back in the days when people were downloading illegal tracks, 14 years ago,
right,
no one's really ever made any really significant money in streaming.
Right.
The people, I heard you talk a little bit last night. Even the artists don't make money.
No,
the streamers haven't made money.
Right.
And I've kind of called this the equivalent of the airline business, where it's taken 30 or 40 years for someone to figure out how to make money.
Because right now, folks, so check this out. Right now, Beats only has 200,000 subscribers paying $10.
Right.
That's it. That's all. That's like really.
And the issues I see going forward is, how do you turn that into something that can make 65% margins? And right now, you look at, if we popped up a chart real quick of Pandora, you can see what's happened in that. In fact, I'll do that right now. And we'll just pop that up. But I was short this in the Tech Insider just because I thought
that thing got killed.
Beat streaming was coming out was my thesis on why this thing was going to get hammered.
Okay.
I didn't even have the part where Apple was going to buy them out. But now, they've had a little bounce out of here, but a lot of these companies, they still don't make money, and there's no real idea on how they're going to make money in the future. And one of the things I don't see from Apple is how they're going to make money. Their thought is that if they can get this Jimmy Iovine, who's the head guy at Beats, who's been at Interscope Records forever,
he's
that
a
knows
huge
the
marketer.
industry. Right. He's the... When you see these guys that come out with these horrible boy bands that spin around and dance and sing and are all polished and massaged, that aren't, I would call artists, they're performers.
You might not like them, but they make all the money.
Right. They make huge amounts of money.
We're talking about Wall Street. We're talking about making money. Okay? And there's no doubt about that, folks. But he's the marketer extraordinaire. He knows how to put it together, and he won't let them out of the studio until
it's perfect.
Yeah.
So he's done a very good job at that, but he has those. He's been in the music business in the corporate world for 20 or 30 years, and he knows all the right people. So they think he's going to be the guy to get them over the hurdle to get all 4 major record labels.
Yes.
Now, even if he does, the question is, how do you turn this thing into a moneymaker that replaces iTunes? Dollars are down about 20% over the last year. As people listen to more streaming, they aren't buying those albums anymore.
No. I think they're probably just buying him alone.
Right.
And they've paid a huge amount of money for him, folks, to make deals. Right. You know what I mean? And that's what it almost seems like, right?
I think they could probably, at $3 billion, they could probably break even with all the rest of the stuff.
Yeah.
But they get him, right?
They get him to make deals, that one of those big deals, if they get Frozen, if they get something that along that line that he can pull something, or a great idea. I mean, that sounds insane, but it seems like that's what it is.
Now, they're talking about 3 other new businesses this week also, or they've let it leak.
Okay.
And one is a home automation where you will be able to turn all the lights on and off. You'll be able to turn your thermostat up and down.
And they're going to be watching it. Apple's going to be watching it, folks. 24 hours a day.
You already see Google buying Nest.
Yeah.
So is this really something we want to do, or do they is this just a huge rerun of Dr. Strangelove, where there's first the nuclear bomb gap, and then there's the giant mine gap where they're going to hide all the people after the nuclear bomb?
You know what the sickest thing is? The sickest thing about this, folks, is that this thing's it'll fly. Because for the amount of information people put on Facebook, people are not going to care what they do at home, whether it's... see, the key to the methods of madness between what David's talking about with Apple and Nest is that they're going to know when you put your bathroom light switch on, when you brush your teeth, when you do this, when you do that, so they can keep selling products to you. But I can see the Facebook generation could care less. I mean, they're
willing to give that up.
Yeah,
they're willing to give that up.
Exactly.
So when we look at these businesses, the question is, will any of them ever kind of make the margins to replace what is going to be a dwindling iPhone business over time?
No, I think, right.
And that's, I think, when you say it's only about the dollars, right now it's all about the hype. You've got Icon behind it. You've got financial engineering with the split coming out. You've got all these things pushing the stock up. Now, the question I have is, do you think it's distribution? When are you going to think that we're seeing distribution?
Looking at Apple, man, I thought it's been in distribution for quite a while. Now, Apple got some juice in it today, but let's take a look at we'll take a look at
it faded by the end of the day.
When David and I are coming back, folks, we'll take a look at Apple on the monthly. That's why I love these monthlies, because what does happen on the monthly, it gives you a decent understanding. Oh, yeah, forget it on the monthly. Yeah. So on the monthly, you're coming into 461 million with 205. David and I are going to be right back, folks.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman wave sequence. Using the Chapman wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com. Eastern legend tells of a fair maiden who was offered a rare gift by the king of the land, a bag of pearls. The king promised that she could keep the largest, most perfect pearl she could find with these 3 conditions. 1, choose only 1 pearl. 2, remove 1 pearl at a time, accept or reject it. And 3, if rejected, it would be lost forever. She began by looking at the pearls, passing on many special treasures. She delved deeper into the bag, and soon the pearls were replaced with pebbles. Sadly, she went home empty-handed. Folks, replace pearls with time, because we cannot go back even 2 seconds. We live in the eternal moment of now. So when now are you going to take advantage of my offer to you, a subscription to my daily investment newsletter service, Mastering Probability, where you can experience the most incredible pearls for trading and investing, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator and Strategy. The offer? It gets better. A 30-day money-back guarantee. Don't go home empty-handed. Mastering Probability. Available on the homepage of TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can't use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. This segment is brought to you by BackTech Environmental. For more information, just click the BackTech banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien. Welcome back, folks. Dave White, Tom O'Brien. Appreciate you growling a problem with us. Folks, you can come over to our website at TFNN. Dave's got an outstanding newsletter, The Tech Insider. The way you test drive it, go to newsletters, go to investment newsletters, Tech Insider. You can test drive it 1 month absolutely free. We have a slide up here, and I'm looking at crime kits. So talk to me about this.
The U.S. Justice Department basically filed charges on 100 different people. And before, when you were hacked, there was probably some hacker that knew what he was doing.
Yes.
He was hacking your particular computer. But for the most part, it wasn't done on a wholesale basis. You had a computer, he wanted to see something,
okay.
He was after one thing.
Yes.
Now what they've done is gone together and put together these crime kits and sold the software to do it all to a lot of people that probably are not that intelligent or great hackers.
Really? Like a retail
hacking program.
Wow.
And what
can it do?
It can go in and basically take over your computer, any microphone, any webcam. They can see what's going on. It doesn't turn the light on at all.
So let me ask you something. On a computer, right? I think most of us now on laptops, you have a camera, right? So if someone takes that over, could they look at you?
Yes.
You can.
The NSA does it every day. Now, you can't prosecute them. This is
really
probably more like...
So with a microphone, they can hear you?
Yes.
So even oh yeah, that's right. It's not like you put the microphone on, because when I listen to TFNN, just turn it on and it comes on.
Right. I unplug mine.
That's insane.
I unplug mine when I'm done. But
you do?
Yeah. It's just a USB. You just unplug it. Right?
Okay.
And then they can't do that. If there's no microphone, they can't hear you. If there's no webcam, they can't see you.
But on my laptop,
That's why I have a piece of tape that you've seen over my camera on my tablet.
But the microphone doesn't have a...
No, there's no way to keep it. That's always on.
That's always on.
Yeah, so that is tough.
That's crazy.
But for the most part, it's interesting, though, that normally they've gone after the people that have written these crime kits in the past.
Yes.
Now they're literally going after the people that are purchasing them.
So what? They must have busted someone and they got the list, right?
They got the list. They actually found the list from a actual search warrant, believe it or not.
Yes.
And went back and looked at how the bitcoins flowed as
was
these
that
people...
Silk? Is that Silk?
Silk Road?
Silk Road, right?
No, wasn't that. But it was a separate investigation where the Computer Crime Division of the FBI was just looking at this one thing because they had run over it a few times where they started seeing people hacking computers, and it was all doing it the exact same way. And, do you have 400 people out there all doing something? If they arrested 100 people, you know that there's 1,000 or 2,000 out there, right? But they were selling this, and my understanding from reading it, although the Justice Department didn't say it, was that they were selling these things for $2,000 a whack.
Well, yeah, they wouldn't want this to be, you're blowing my mind right now knowing that, any of us can just go buy a crime kit and start click, click, click away, because there's plenty of folks that just for fun would do it.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Probably not for $2,000. That wouldn't be that much fun to them, but there's enough weirdos out there that certainly would.
So ransomware, right?
Another thing that came along in security this week was a issue with ransomware on actual phones. There is a cult of computer worms and Trojans that will take over your computer, and then a screen will pop up in the center of it and say, if you send $50 here to this thing, we'll get rid of all your viruses on your machine. And it's called ransomware because they basically taken over your machine, and unless you want to pay somebody $100 to fix it, they'll fix it for $50 or $25 or whatever. And believe it or not, a lot of times they will actually fix it. Although now they have your credit card, and they'll probably run it up to $2,000, right?
Sick.
Yes, it becomes a double whammy. Now, what's different is this is actually on mobile phones now.
Okay.
And they figured a back door into some of the software that actually is supposed to track the phones if they get stolen. So they figured out a way to tag on one of the applications that's there and you pay money for to help you when it's stolen, and they're actually using it against you. So it's one of these weird things where if you didn't do anything, you're actually better off than doing something. But now the phone turns on, it goes, if you just send so much money to certain thing, now it'll make your phone work again.
And most of these, right? Realistically, you have to open an attachment to get it, right? I mean, so the key is, folks, I don't care what it says on that attachment, whether, it says, here's your credit card, you just made money. I get 1 million of them every day. I got one of them this morning, and this is a new one. This is kind of a cool one. I think it said, here's your, I forget what it said, but the bottom line is that I was looking, that's a new one. That's interesting. But
they were distributing these on the public Wi-Fi at a coffee shop.
Okay, yeah.
So even when you go on that, you may want to turn up your security level.
Oh, for sure.
A couple of levels when you go into those coffee shops and have public Wi-Fi.
Oh, that totally makes sense. You can make a fortune sitting in Starbucks, right?
You bet.
So Silicon Valley's going Hollywood.
Right. We've already got a new show called Silicon Valley. It's on HBO on Sunday nights.
Yeah.
And it is the show that really is about companies becoming a public company and a startup and the whole incubation process, and it's hysterical as all get out. It's a comedy.
Is it good?
But it's very good.
Okay.
But it's been picked up for the second season. I think the final episode is either this weekend or the next weekend. I don't remember which one. But it's Mike Judge, who did Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill and all those animated series.
Okay.
But he also made one of the movies I love the best, which is Office Space. Have you ever seen that movie?
I don't think so.
You got to see that one.
Yeah.
That is
Office Space?
Office Space. Absolutely fantastic. But anyway, now we've got the second one coming. It's called Halt and Catch Fire. And it's the story of the reverse engineering of the BIOSes of the IBM PCs. Now, this is all about what's called a clean room. And that is, you had one guy hacking at the computer to figure what was in it.
Yes.
And he'd write a spec of what it was supposed to do. And then somebody in another room that had never seen the PC had the right code to do what the first guy did, but since the second guy never saw the computer or what the first guy did,
right,
it was called done clean, and therefore he couldn't be sued by IBM for recreating the same thing.
I remember that. Yeah, right.
Now that's what made Compact, and this whole thing is about the lead up to actually reverse engineering the BIOS and becoming a big Compact.
That's pretty cool. Okay.
And
so that's how they did that.
Yeah, I actually got a call when this was from somebody in my past a long time ago who said, "Hey, I want a phone number for that guy that was the history of the original PC revolution." I said, "Oh, Kringley." He goes, "Yeah, you have his phone number?" And I actually, every once in a while, converse with this guy.
Okay.
And I said, "Oh, yeah, I got his phone number." He says, "We're doing it, so we need somebody that's a historian." So this is about maybe 14 months ago. It's kind of neat to see this actually show up.
That's huge, man.
It is.
That is so cool. Well, listen, you know what?
We're done.
It's a beautiful thing,
It's
folks.
a weekend.
Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Whatever you want in life, folks, visualize like a nice big motion picture. Step into it, take ownership of it, and fly with it. Everything you need is right inside you, folks. Grab it, have a blast with it. Dave and I and TFNN look forward to speaking right here next week. Go get them. Thanks, Dave.